Ladies and gentlemen, a very pleasant, good Sunday evening to each and every one of you, wherever you are. Tonight, I want to share with you about how the Black community is not dead. I have been guilty of saying that the Black community is dead for a long time. But after one of my past episodes, guess what? I beg to differ. What we have to do is get rid of all of the dead weight that is within the confines of our community. So sit back, relax, and let us do what we always do, and that's sit down and reason together. As you come in, like the video, share the video, tag your family and your friends on the Facebook/Meta side, and on the YouTube side, like, share, and subscribe. And if you would be so kind as to donate to our cause, please donate to our cause. $ Hidden One Truth. That's our Cash App ID. $ Hidden One Truth. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in just a few moments. All right, folks, we are back. I'm happy to see all of you come out on this rainy Sunday evening. And I hope that you have had a very productive Sunday, like you always do. And if not, I pray that things will indeed get better for you. On the Facebook side, good evening to you too, my brother. Thank you for joining the fray. Got brother Sam in the house. Hello to you too, sir. Thank you for joining the fray. Again, tonight I wanted to talk about how the Black community is not dead. No, the Black community is not dead. And I must again confess to you, I once thought that the Black community was gone. I thought it was dead. But I had some time to think about this, especially when we had our last podcast episode of Yosef's 2 cents. And the reality is, I'm quoting myself from last week when I said, the Black community is not dead. We just have to remove the dead weight from the melanated community or the Black community. That's all. Because we have, as I've said before, we have a lot of highly intelligent young men and young women. We have some of the best cooks, the best chefs, the best thinkers, the best builders in terms of building commercial buildings. We have all of this talent that is within the confines of our community. We have a lot. And don't think for a moment that we still don't have them. The Black community or the melanated community is not dead. What we have to do is remove ourselves from the dead weight that is within the confines of the melanated community. Because as we all know, we have plenty of highly intelligent men and women. We still have a lot of talent. We still have a lot of ability. We have it. But we've gotten to the point. We've come to the point where we have to remove ourselves from the dead weight, meaning we have to separate ourselves from the males and the females, those underdeveloped men and women that are the byproducts of dysgenic breeding. Because there are still a lot of us that still believes in doing the right thing for the right reason. There are still a lot of us that are conservative in our beliefs and convictions. There's still a lot of us that believes in what the scripture teaches us. And see, for us, we have really come to a pivotal point in our lives. And we've come to that pivotal point because we are realizing more and more and more and more that everybody just is not going to be saved. Everybody is just not going to be convinced because they don't want to be convinced. They will much rather continue to live in their ignorance as well as their stupidity. Let me digress for just a second. Good evening to you too. Thanks for joining the fray, Brother Justin. Appreciate it. Sister Giselle, what's going on? Thanks for joining the fray. Appreciate you. So, the crossroads that we have come across, that we reached rather, it's decision-making time. We've reached a very pivotal point. We've reached a point where we can no longer, at all, we can no longer ignore all of these red flags that's on two legs. We can't do it. It's not wise for us. It's not wise for us at all. We've wasted enough time holding on to the faith and the belief in hopes that our brothers and our sisters will finally see the light. That they would finally come to their senses and they would finally realize and recognize that the route that we've all been traveling as a collective is wrong. And some of the things that we've been preaching and teaching has been wrong. We have adapted the lies told, but more and more and more, and gradually, slowly but surely, a lot of us are coming to terms. And we're coming to the realization that, hey, I was wrong. I was dead wrong about a lot, about what I was taught, everything from the interpretations of Bible, our history. Our history is not really our history. A lot of it is his story. Black community is not dead, far from it. Brother Justin says, many have cluttered minds. Brother Sam says, you are right. Justin continues, the time is right now. Yeah. Sister Giselle says, they even turn a blind eye to the truth. Yes, they do. Let me get Brother Barron. He says factual. Yeah. So, as I've said, we're at the crossroads now. We're at a very important and we're at a very pivotal time in our history, in our human listical experience. We're at a very pivotal moment. I mean, it's obvious, right? It's obvious that people that look like us are not really for us. You know, the old cliche, skin folk ain't kinfolk. Well, such is the case in this scenario. Such is the case. And then when you find somebody that objects to you celebrating who you are, and they object to not only when you celebrate who you are, but you also celebrate whose you are, and they look like you, that person is dangerous. And it would be wise for you to hurry up and get the heck away from them as quick as possible. Think about it. And see, let me do this right quick so I can get some more viewers. And see, the thing is, the truth has always been out there. And the truth is more available to us now than it's ever been. The problem is we now choose to run from the truth when the truth is no longer hidden from us. And in all truth, and in all sincerity as well, truth be told, in all sincerity, we got to separate. And the dead weight in the Black community or the melanated community that I'm talking about, those that are full of treachery, those that are in cahoots with others to see you take your downfall, to have your breakdown, to have your meltdown, to shake you down, to take you down. Because a lot of them are low down. See? This is where we are. Now, I also will say this as well. I will also say that in spite of the world that we're living in, or the kind of world that we're living in, we can still make it better, not only for ourselves, but we can also make it better for our tribes. Because as quiet as it's kept, we're finding out more and more that people have relatives and not real family. All of us have relatives, but not enough of us have family. Look at what's going on in the world of entertainment. Look at what's going on. You got P. Diddy that's being accused, and all these accusations of sexual misconduct and abuse is being hurled at him like fiery darts. You got females that continues to champion the cause of the downfall of the melanated man, the family at large. And then you also have people that's championing the cause of whoredom. I mean, why would anybody would want to champion the cause of being a lowlife? Why? Why would anybody want to champion the cause of being a lowlife? Why would anybody would be proud to be a slower? And let me also say this. I know for a fact, I've always known this. I have always known, I have always known for a fact that there are a whole slew of honorable women that would make wonderful wives. And I also know, likewise, there are a lot of men that will make honorable and wonderful husbands. I'm aware of this. You know for a fact that we're living in some dangerous times when you have a congregation of dummies. And when you're spitting facts and not fiction, you're giving them reality and not fantasy. You're giving them facts and it's not fiction. They're going to call the truth interesting. Yeah. You got some idiots out there that will actually call the truth interesting. No, dummy. The truth is not interesting. The truth is the truth. The truth is reality. The truth is factual. We just got to remove the dead weight. It's important and imperative that we remove the dead weight. Let's see. I digress for just a minute. Let me get to your observations. On the Facebook side, Brother Sam says, what's crazy is God has granted us all choices to be the greatest. He certainly has given us free will. There's no doubt about it. He certainly has given us free will. As a matter of fact, it's in the book of Ecclesiastes. Excuse me. I was talking about the Apocrypha, but it's in the book of Ecclesiastes. To paraphrase it, you're welcome to do anything you want, but know that with every action, there comes a reaction. Brother Justin says the consumption of people is overrated because many are tired of giving handouts and see no appreciation. I'm glad you said that. And the reason why I'm glad you said that is because there's a social media associate of mine that that said earlier today. Let me fix this right quick. That said that he was sick and tired of having to deal with so-called Black-owned businesses. And I knew automatically what he meant by it. I did. I knew automatically what he meant by it. And I'm gonna delve more into that in just a second. Brother Sam says snakes are let out from the wilderness. Snakes, lions, bears, tigers, you name it. Yeah. Sister Giselle says, because many don't want to work for the life they are given. Scripture says, if a man don't work, man don't eat. You know? And see, there's the reason why all of this it continues to transpire. It is. There's a reason for it. Yeah, don't think for a moment that is not a reason for it. And you've also heard me explain to you before in the past why all of this continues to happen. All of this continues to transpire. Brother Sam says they were planted with bad seeds and soil. Goes back to dysgenic breeding. Brother Justin says they will make brilliant wives. Yeah. Oh, listen. They will make brilliant wives and the men will make brilliant husbands. But because of the weak, wimpish, and two-faced, dysgenically breaded human beings that's leading others down a dark, dead end, they are free to say whatever the hand fact they want to say. There's no repercussions. There's no penalties. You're not going to get penalized for it as long as you continue to lead those down the dark road. The dead leading the dead, the blind leading the blind, dummies leading dummies. But when you run across somebody that is a thinker and cannot be he or she is unable to be manipulated, and they do not allow for other people to do their thinking for them. Guess what? They get shadow banned. The audience is restricted. Yeah. The audience is restricted. They're shadow banned. Sometimes they are even kicked off the platform. They're dismissed. the whole shebang, the whole nine. Brother Sam says, I agree. Brother Justin says, my Lord, continues, I do not indulge in that type of crowd. Well, that just goes to show that you are among the part of the black community or the melanated community that's not dead. You're a representation of the community that still believes in doing that which is the right thing to do. Well, it's funny, Giselle. So, so here's the thing. I know for a fact we got a lot of men and a lot of women that's willing to do the right thing for the right reason. No problem, Brother Barron. It's all good. It's all good. Melanated community is not dead. What we have to do is work on getting rid of the dead weight. And the dead weight that I'm talking about, it just goes far beyond the so-called Pookies, the so-called Ray Rays, the so-called 304s. The dead weight that I'm also talking about are those so-called political leaders, those so-called elected officials that look like us, but are still willing to do the bidding that are opposed to our personhood, our manhood, womanhood, childhood as a collective. At the moment, Sister Giselle, you are indeed the only sister or the only woman on here. And see, here's something else to consider too, right? Look at what's happening. Excuse me, y'all. Look at what's happening with the Passport Bros movement. Now, check this out. The very same certain type of demographic, right, that did not want these men in the first place, calling them everything from being broke, being dusty, squares, not hood enough, a loser, the whole shebang, right? These men simply said, all right, since you don't want us, cool. I'm going to go on about my business. I'll be on my way. And they went on their way. Some of them had the means to leave the United States, to go overseas. And some of them, a lot of them are in happy monogamous relationships. Shoot, a lot of them are in happy and monogamous marriages. But the same kind, watch this, the same kind of demographic, right? The same kind of demographic that preached vigorously, vehemently, that they didn't want them, they're broke, they're dusty, they're not good enough. They left the demographic alone. Now these sick and demented demographic chicks, they are starting to now follow these men overseas. And the same demographic that's following these men overseas, they can't afford to go overseas. They are facing being evicted. They're looking at eviction right in the eyes. They're looking at being homeless right in the eyes. If they are able to get a ticket or passport and travel overseas to call themselves trying to win that same type of man that they themselves rejected, don't you think that they have the intelligence, or they should have the intelligence, to do what they need to do in order to save themselves from being kicked out and being homeless? The late Kevin Samuels and the rest were spot on when they said winter is coming. Well, guess what? Wintertime is here in full force. Wintertime is here in full effing force. I can't even begin to tell you let me plug this up. I can't even begin to tell you, right? That we have been saying this collectively and individually. We've been saying this for the longest. We tried to tell you, but no. And again, this is the same demographic that made fun of the honorable man that would have treated them with dignity and respect. But let me tell you something. Here's the twist. The twist is these same Filipinos, the women of the Philippines, they starting to clap back now against the demographic. And one of them said, do you know why your men are coming over here to the Philippines? The men are coming over here to the Philippines is because we know how to treat human beings. You don't. And see, let me also say this. I've never had a problem with the passport bros. I never did. I never had a problem with the passport bros. I still don't. I rock with the passport bros. I respect them. I do. The only thing that concerned me with the passport bros was, letting everybody know what they got going on. I'm over here in the Philippines. I'm over here in Africa. I'm over here in Hong Kong. I'm over here in the Far East. The reason why I didn't want the passport bros announcing where they were was because I didn't want these crazy I did not want a certain demographic. The contaminated melanated woman, the compromised melanated woman, to go overseas and to start harassing the passport bros, because the passport bros, they got away from the demographic, and I didn't want them to be bombarded with having to be harassed. I didn't want them to be bombarded with a mentally ill and a mentally unstable and an emotionally unstable female. That was my concern. That's why I said to the passport bros, listen, man, I got no problem with what you all got going on. But I did not agree with y'all saying where you're located. As long as y'all were moving in silence, y'all were safe. But my greatest concern is now being made manifest. The mentally ill, the mentally delayed, they starting the chase after y'all. They starting to come after y'all now. Yeah. And I didn't want that. I did not want the demographic coming after y'all. I didn't. Because if we all know just how dangerous the demographic is over here in the United States, just imagine the havoc and the chaos that they're able to inflict if given the chance to go overseas. And it's starting to happen. Let me tell you exactly what's happening with these demented dames. You got some of these demented dames that's pretending to be a part of the natives, just so her broke, dusty behind could get a free drink from the same type of man that got the heck away from you in the first place. The same demographic that said, you're broke, you're dusty, you ain't hood enough, I need a thug, all that stuff. They said, fine, we gone, we out. They moved in silence. Now these demented females are showing up in Hong Kong. They're showing up in the Philippines. They're showing up in Brazil. And they're pretending to be the natives. I have to. I gotta ask the question though. I have to. Gotta ask the question. And the question that I have to ask is, why are they really starting to come over to where the passport bros are? Why? Because honestly, I really don't think that they want these men back. I don't. What I do think, and I'm not saying it's concrete truth, but what I am saying is it's a possibility that the reason why they are starting to follow the passport bros overseas is because they want to make an attempt to poison the mind of the women these men are with. But I don't think that they're going to be successful. And the reason why I don't think it's going to be successful for them is because everything is ran totally different over there than it is here in the United States. Because all this liberal stuff that's going on in the United States, they don't fall for that. If you raise your voice to a man, you're going to go to jail. Look what happened to one of these chicks over in I believe it was Dubai. Look what happened. She simply raised her voice. She raised her voice to this man in Dubai, I believe it was, and she got arrested, got thrown in jail. Now she's in jail for a whole year. There was another instance in which another woman, all she did was just put her finger on the dude. She got arrested for that. You see, this feminist nonsense that unfortunately has been successful here in the United States, it ain't gonna work overseas. Especially in those Muslim countries like Dubai, you can forget it. You can forget it. They do not mind putting you under the jail. And see, a lot of these Filipino women, let me tell you something else too. A lot of these Filipino women, they ain't going for that nonsense. See, these females are really starting to poke the bear. See, these females are poking the bear, but the bear hasn't attacked them yet. They're poking the bear, but all that bear is doing is just looking at you. And that bear is looking at you with a warning. And I'm speaking in terms of the proverbial bear. Because the same things that you females have done to a man, they haven't done that to you yet. But slowly and gradually, we are starting to see that man lose, or rather withdraw the inner chain of restraint. And that man is starting to tap into his inner barbarian, his inner Viking. He's starting to tap into his inner savage. And once that man really starts tapping into his inner savage, his inner Viking, and his inner barbarian, his inner savage, it's not going to turn out well for you. It's not going to go well for you. It's not going to go well for you. Did you really think that you were going to continue to get away with abusing a man verbally, emotionally, psychologically, sometimes even physically? No. You talking about if they were a real man, they would do A, B, and C. Well, if you were a real woman, you would be in the kind of marriage and relationship you've always wanted to have. If you were a real woman, you would be with that man or the type of man that you still dream of having. If you were a real woman, you would know what a real man is. But you don't know what a real man is because you seek a man you can control. And you stay away from sober-minded men that knows their worth and knows their value. And that's why I say the Black community is not dead. The sport bros are doing something, and they've been doing something that we should have been doing a long time ago. They have been removing themselves from those that are not a part of the solution to the problem. They have removed themselves from the problems themselves. And again, the only thing that I disagree with the Passport Bros is letting everybody know where you are. And this is the reason why. Now, as a matter of fact, it was Thanksgiving Day on the calendar, on the Gregorian calendar. You had a group of men. This was in Thailand. You had a group of men that was in some lounge, some bar, some restaurant. They were relaxing. They were chilling. And it was Thanksgiving Day, right? You had one brother who was recording. He was greeting everybody. What's up, homie? What's good, bro? Happy Thanksgiving to you, all that, greetings and salutations, all that stuff. That's when he ran across a patient that escaped the insane asylum. Yep. He ran across the demographic. And the brother asked the female, said, you don't mind if I record you, if you want me to stop recording you, I'll stop. See, here's the thing. She didn't object to the brother recording her. This brain dead chick said, no, but you got to pay me. You got to pay me. Like, what? Got to pay you? You got to pay me. What? Are you serious? I ain't paying you no attention. That's why I'm gonna pay you. I ain't paying you no attention. I ain't paying you no mind. I ain't paying you no attention. And see, that let me know right then and there. If her broke dusty behind got a passport and went all the way back, or rather went all the way to the far east, she's just there to stir up trouble, to cause strife. And then it also lets me know she broke. She wanted that dude to cash app her. She wanted that dude to Zelles her, to PayPal her. Yeah. She broke. She ain't got nothing going on for herself. She probably lived somewhere in one of the chief cities of the United States, in the hood. She broke. She on the verge of eviction. But my question is, why do you care now? Why? Why do you care now? What's the point of you caring? Why do you care? What's the point? Why do you care? What's the point? Why do you care? Why are you keeping up with a person that you said was broke and dusty? What, you thought they were bluffing? You really thought you were foolish enough to be thinking that they weren't going to leave? Is that what you thought? If you really thought they weren't going to leave, are you convinced now? They don't want you. You had your chance to be with that honorable man. You had your chance to be with that honorable man that was going to make you a wonderful wife. But unfortunately, he took off like a thief in the night. He took off. Yeah, he did. He took off. And because he took off and left you Now here you come. The passport bros turn all of you chicks that rejected them into afterthoughts. See, if there's one thing that I've come to realize about the psychological apparatus and the psychological hygiene of these dames, they hate not receiving attention. They hate it. Oh, yeah. They hate it. If you ever tell, real talk, if you ever, if you ever tell a woman, you are not important to me anymore, you are now an afterthought. Oh, my Lord. Man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. If you ever tell a woman that you are that she is an afterthought in your life, oh my, ooh wee, man, oof, man, woo, woo. And like Brother Justin said, and don't give that attention to another woman of another nationality. Man, 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 man. Ooh, woo. Man, that demographic will lose their minds. Ooh, ooh. When I tell you that they will lose their minds, they will go off the deep end, they will go insane. Believe me when I tell you, they will go insane. Man, look, where's my ginger ale? Oh, there it is. Me get to your observations. Oh, boy. Brother Justin says, never let no one bring you down. He continues, I figured they had too much time on their hands. They do have too much time on their hands. They're mentally ill. They should be in an insane asylum. But the way this whole world is set, it's the world. This world right now is just set up for the weak, wimpish, and two-faced. Sister Giselle said, "Consume without." I don't know what that says. I don't know what you're trying to say, Sister G. I really don't. Consume without education is all I know. That's all I don't know. Brother Sam concurs. Brother Justin said they took a flight and were not used to all those pleasurable women. Man, listen. That's why they ain't coming back to the United States. They ain't coming back. They are not coming back to the United States at all. No, they ain't coming back. They are not coming back to the United States. They're not coming back to the Matrix, as they call it. Brother Sam says, yeah, it's all about control. Precisely. And see, here's something else. See, there's a lot of things that women hate. Or should I say a female hates, a Jezebel hates. A Jezebel hates being the afterthought of a man that they desire. A Jezebel hates not being able to control and manipulate mentally and emotionally a man. A real female hates when a real man is able to think for himself. A female despises not having control. Oh, definitely. It's definitely totally different from the United States. See, a lot of stuff that these females get away with over the United States, they would either be put under the prison or they would be executed overseas. No cap. Brother Justin says, I have seen many crazy cases due to what you are discussing. You know something, Brother Justin? Let me point this out too. The reality is that the very same thing that you're seeing, I'm seeing it, and it's more prevalent at the airport that I work at. It's more prevalent. It is. It's more prevalent than it is anywhere else. It's prevalent at the airports. The airport that I work at is prevalent in these churches, these mosques. I'm starting to see more and more and more single mothers with one child, anywhere from one child to 5 children at the same time. And she cannot control them. I've even seen women in the airport pregnant and carrying and with a little child and carrying a child in their belly, pregnant, and holding the other child by the hand. They ain't so strong and independent now, are they? You got a 50, 60, 70-pound piece of luggage. You can't get off that conveyor belt. You need workers like me to get that thing off from you. Off of the belt for you. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to do that, Brother Sam. I'm trying to tell these clowns. But they don't get it. Now they listen. They are not sitting. They leaving the matrix. Oh, your wife showed you that vid, man. That was absolutely nuts. Oh, principalities. Is that what you were saying? Okay. Okay. Principalities. I got you. Oh, they don't care. Nah, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. That's right. They don't give it to another. Don't give it to another woman of another nationality. See, this is their warped thinking. You see, their warped thinking is this. It's all right for them to give all of their attention to another man of another nationality. But when we do it, when we dismiss them and we start talking to another woman outside of our nationality, they want to raise $1 billion worth of hell. Ridiculous. The double standard with the demographic is just it's hideous. It's hideous. Sounds like contracts need to be prepared. Listen, at this point, these females know that men ain't playing with them anymore. They know for a fact that they are not playing. They're not bluffing. Real men are not bluffing. Let me tell you something. This is one of the most important truths that everybody is starting to speak of more and more every day. If you would like to know what that truth is, I want you to type a number 1 in the chat. Oh yeah, they're prostituting themselves to the highest bidder. Absolutely. There is an important truth that men are starting to speak on more and more every day. And the reason why they are speaking on it is this one important truth. And it's one of the most important truths that any of us would ever speak. I see the ones. All right. One of the most important truths that men are speaking on at this moment, and it's telling the truth when it comes down to these miserable dames, is because they themselves were once simps and they were once kleptogamists. And because they recognized that they were once kleptogamists, and they were once simps, and they recognize and they have learned from the error. They've learned the error of their ways. They are determined to not only fall back into that trap of kleptogamy, but they are also willing to share the truth with anybody who will listen, that you too can truly discover who you are and whose you are. See, every so-called red-pilled man was once a simp. Every red pill or so-called red pill man once put himself last, put his dreams and goals and ambitions ahead or behind, and put that woman ahead of his goals and his dreams. He ain't doing that now. And because that man is no longer putting that woman first, he's putting himself first. Because toxic females taught that man how to treat them accordingly. That's why these dames are scared to death. Because they recognize that the camaraderie of brotherhood is a force to be reckoned with. And because the camaraderie of brotherhood is a strong force, especially when men are like-minded and they are masculine and they are basking, or should I say, we are basking in our so-called toxic masculinity. That's why we pose to be the biggest threats. See, masculinity ain't toxic. The lack of it, that's what makes it toxic. And see, let me say this too. And I'm gonna play a little music, and then I'm gonna come back with my final 2 cents. When a man finally comes to the realization and he is the recipient of the right knowledge of himself, he becomes a god. He becomes like God, like the supreme being. Oh, yeah. When that camaraderie of brotherhood is strong, especially when that brotherhood is a brotherhood that's like-minded, that is willing to aid and guide and assist his brother, the Jezebel hates that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The Jezebel absolutely hates and despises that. Why do you think the Bible says, don't give your strength over to no woman? See, the Bible praises the woman, but the Bible also warns men of females. Well, you have to pay attention when they say woman, because it's not always talking about an honorable woman, it's talking about a female. Pay attention in how the terminology woman is used in the context of the text. Because it's not always talking about a loser female. It's not always talking about a woman that's compromised, that's been brainwashed and hoodwinked and bamboozled and had been had. No, no, no. It's talking about a female that is not a daughter of the Most High. I don't care what nobody says. Everybody does not belong to the Almighty. Sorry. And be careful of somebody that says, well, I belong and everybody does belong to them. No, they don't. Everybody does not belong to the Most High. Sorry. All right, it's 6 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock. This is what I want y'all to do. I want you to like the video. I want you to share the video. I want you to tag your family, tag your friends, and share this message with any and everybody who will listen. That's on the Facebook side. On the YouTube side, I want you to like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the Yosef Isaiah Benjamin Network. And finally, on both Facebook and YouTube, donate to our cause. $ Hidden One Truth. Once again, $ Hidden One Truth. If this content, if this podcast presentation tonight and podcast presentations of the past has really been beneficial to you, I appreciate it. And because of your donations is part of the reason why I got a new laptop. That's right. That's part of the reason why. Got a laptop. Your donations is part of the reason why I got this microphone. New laptop, microphone, new program, the whole shebang. So for those that have donated in the past, and to our patrons and sponsors of last week's podcast presentation, again, I say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now, what we're getting ready to do, we're getting ready to take a brief intermission. And when we come back, I'm going to present my final 2 cents for the night to remind all of us, the Black community is not dead. We have reached a crossroads, and we have some tough and important decisions to make from this point out. I'm your man, Yosef X. This is my 2 cents. Don't go too far. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a few moments. Enjoy the music. Oh, and I don't own these. I don't own the copyrights to these music, these songs, these selections. I play these songs under the Fair Use Act of 1976 for your entertainment and your enjoyment. The copyrights to these songs belong to the artists and the recording companies. I just play for entertainment and enjoyment. Don't go too far. We'll be back in a moment. All right, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, there we go. Good. Once again, I hope you have enjoyed the podcast presentation tonight, and I hope that I have said something that has enlightened you and illuminated your thinking on a much deeper level. And it will also give you something to think about, to contemplate. And I also hope that you enjoy the brief selections played. If you all enjoy it, first off, um, before I give my final 2 cents, did you hear the music? Did y'all hear the music that was being played? If y'all could hear the music while it was being played, put a number 2. Put number 2 in the chat if you could hear the music being played. Let's see. All right, good night, Giselle, and you be safe also. You all be safe also. We're supposed to be getting some real bad weather up here in New York as well. So y'all be safe in North Carolina as well. And hopefully I'll get a chance to see y'all soon. Y'all have a good night. Y'all be safe in North Carolina. So y'all can hear the music. All right, good. Good. Was the music going in and out, in and out, in and out? If the music was going in and out, I apologize for that. I had to make some adjustments and modifications. Oh, good, good. Okay, good, good. Very good, very good, very good. All right. As I conclude, good. I'm glad you all heard it very clearly. Good, 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 good. Very good, very good. All right. Let me say this as we get ready to wrap things up. Um, you have also heard me say, not just tonight, but you've also heard me explain and encapsulate, I believe it was last week, when I said that the Black community is not dead. I said this last week, and I'm saying it again tonight. This was our subject. The Black community is not dead, and it's not dead. We are very much alive and well. We are. As a melanated community, we have come to a very important and a very pivotal moment in our history. We are alive and well. However, we've got to separate. We have to separate ourselves from those males and those females that are comfortable being low lives, that are comfortable being weird, that are comfortable not willing to improve themselves as a man or woman. We've gotten to the point in our lives now where we've got to love people from a distance. I didn't say hate them. I said we have to remove ourselves from them. Because it's obvious. It's obvious more so than ever before. They are comfortable being slaves. They're comfortable being the modern day slave. They're comfortable with the shackles that's on their minds and their emotions. They're comfortable with painting the shackles on their minds and in their hearts gold, silver, or platinum. They're that comfortable being slaves. They are comfortable in all truth and in all sincerity. They're comfortable being a part of the problem. They're comfortable with being ignorant, willfully ignorant. They're comfortable. They're comfortable with not being husbands and wives. They're comfortable with being side pieces and baby mamas and baby fathers. They're comfortable being peasants. They're comfortable being strumpets. And since they're comfortable being strumpets, let them go. And since also we have skin folk that really is not in our corner in the field of politics and religion, guess what? We got to leave them alone. If they are comfortable with being part of the problem, with the Black community not being anywhere where it should be, leave them alone. Point blank, period. Leave them alone. Let them be. Let them go. Just let them go. Let them go. Let them be. Good evening to you, Brother Jonathan. I appreciate your compliment. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining the fray. And since the Black woman hates herself, and since a lot of the melanated men, they hate themselves, they don't want the true knowledge of self, let them go. because you've also have heard me tell you before, not just on this secular podcast, but you've also heard me preach to you during one of our virtual worship services. This is the era of separation. And you know something else? The era of separation has been in full swing for a long time. It's been in full swing for a long time. And now we just got to let them go. Period. Let them go. Let them go. Now, brothers, those of you that have seen the error of your ways, kudos to you. Sisters, those of you that have seen the error of your ways, kudos to you. Those men and those women that desires to be better versions of themselves for themselves, kudos to you. Much love and much respect to you. Keep up the good work. And don't stop. And that's why those of us that sees the error of our ways, and we see what's going on, and we understand the urgency of the hour, right? That's why the Bible says iron sharpens iron. We've got to be around like-minded men, like-minded women, because when we are around like-minded men, like-minded women, we bring out the best in each other instead of being around each other, bringing out the worst. Iron sharpens iron. There's a passage of scripture in the Injil, or the New Testament, pardon me. It's the second, I believe, it's the second shortest verse in the Bible. I don't remember exactly where it is, but it's Yahushua HaMashiach that says, remember Lot's wife. And so, as I conclude, as we prepare to move forward, to start being around more like-minded men and more like-minded women, remember Lot's wife. Don't turn around, because if you turn around, you'll end up just like Lot's wife. The era of separation continues on. The Black community is not dead. We must remove the dead weight from the community. If a woman don't want to be a wife, let her go. If a man doesn't want to be a husband, let her go. Let him go. We've wasted too much time waiting on them, waiting on a certain kind of a male that refuses to do the right thing. Why do you think the scripture says come ye out from amongst them, and be ye separate. Come out from amongst her, my people, and be ye separate. Why do you think more and more men and women are starting to pray the prayer, Father, redeem me, reform me, and don't respite me? In the Quran, the word respite means in the context of rejection. In the Islamic book of scriptures called the Quran, in Islamic literature, God and Satan had a conversation. And the conversation went something like this. Satan talking to Allah in the Quran. O Allah, respite me not, for I know my day is coming, but don't respite me. Don't respite me yet. That means don't reject me yet. More and more of us are starting to pray the prayer humbly and sincerely, and the Most High himself is starting to hear our petition and grant us our petition, because our petition that comes from our lips of clay are the thoughts of our hearts. So that's why more and more men are saying, don't reject me, don't respite me, redeem me, reform me, don't respite me. Because to respite means to reject, to dismiss, to go away from. And the part of the so-called black community that's not dead is starting to seek the face of Almighty Yah more so now. It's not about religion. It's about a relationship with the Most High. It's about having a relationship with self, and it's about having a relationship with each other. Because more of us are starting to say, this man is not my enemy, or this woman is not my enemy. There is a community within a community. There is a nation within a nation. But the nation that's about growth and progression and development and maturity is separating from those that's opposite. Black community ain't dead. We got dead weight. We got some of the best scholars in the world. We got some of the best preachers in the world. We got some of the best teachers in the world. We got some of the best masons in the world, meaning the best builders in the world. We got some of the best teachers, the best craftsmen, the best, we got some of the best in the world. But we got to remove ourselves from the dead weight. And with that said, once we continue to move and remove ourselves from the dead weight and separate ourselves in hopes that they will see the error of their ways, we must move forward. Remember Lot's wife. do not end up like Lot's wife. Me get to your observations, and we're out of here. Brother Justin says, and they are comfortable manipulating themselves. They certainly are. They are comfortable in the delusion that I believe First or Second Thessalonians talks about. I think it's Second Thessalonians chapter 2, where it talks about the great delusion. If it's not Second Thessalonians, it's First Thessalonians, but I believe it's Second Thessalonians. Brother Sam says, just roll out the red carpet so they can have a wonderful walk down memory lane. It ain't gonna be no wonderful walk for them. You know why? Because they say that delusion is the final recourse for those that are damned. Brother Jonathan says, absolutely. If you hear what's being said in a lot of black churches, they will try to shame you if you don't submit to the black woman, not God. Well, let me tell you something, my brother. I'm going to say this, and I'm out of here. All this Hotep gospel preaching that I've been hearing out here on the streets that has now infiltrated these churches is not of the Most High. It ain't of the Most High. And if these preachers that's in these pulpits now that's trying to shame people and not submitting to the black woman, I got news for you. The black woman ain't my God. And if the black woman is God, guess what? I'm an atheist. I rest my case. If the compromised black woman is God, I'm an atheist. Well, it's been a ball. But the clock on the wall says that's all for now. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for listening. Like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Like, share, and tag on Facebook. And donate to the cause. CashAppID, $ Hidden One Truth. Until next time, I'm your man, Yosef X. That's been my 2 cents. Y'all stay dry and y'all stay safe. Until we meet again, y'all have a good night. Peace. I'm out.